What is up? What is up? Welcome back to NFL Rundown, brought to you courtesy of Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. I'm your host, Astaire, joined today by Tyler Hicks. Tyler, we knocked out the NBA. You got yourself a little lunch, and now it's time to dig into, what's now America's pastime. Used to be baseball. Now it's the National Football League, and we are ready. Any overall thoughts about the NFL this week? I listened to a lot of podcasts, and I heard a lot of hot takes, but I figure I'd just move those in game by game. Did you have any overall thoughts about the NFL before we started this card?
No, I mean, nothing I could think of like off the top of my head to start the show with. But just like you said, as we go game by game, I'm pretty sure I'll find something we could talk about.
Yeah, I mean, you recommended me that one podcast, and I got a couple right off that one. I'm like,
you know how we do on these shows, Spread. We kind of just like we get the gears moving, and then we're rolling like halfway through. So once we get there, we'll find all those hot takes.
All right, well, that's what I expect. So I'm having problems finding injury news for this one. The Las Vegas Raiders are plus 6.5. I got my Raiders shirt on. They headed to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. This line was high as 8.5, Tyler. Now it's down to 6.5. Originally, Carson Wentz wasn't going to play. Now they expect him to play. What are your thoughts on the Colts and the Raiders? And who do you expect to see out there on the field for everybody?
Yeah, I mean, I think the only news we're still waiting for, like really on the Raiders, that's very important is the Waller news because we've seen how stagnant their offense is without him. Mm-hmm. And I just like you said, I think Wentz will play, so the Colts will pretty much be the same team they've been for weeks. Mm-hmm. So give me the Colts here, and we're going to do it like we've done the past few weeks, Fred. Here's our first leg of our teaser. Tease them down to 1. They'll beat the Raiders. Jonathan Taylor will run all over them. So we'll tease them down to 1 here, and we'll just put that as our first pick in the teaser.
All right. 1 game, 1 teaser leg already.
I don't mind the under there either. My only worry, though, is the Colts could put up a big number against this bad defense.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The one thing, though, I was thinking was that the Raiders, they have the defense that sets up with the Colts better because the way you beat the Raiders is through the air. I think the Colts like to establish the run. I think the Raiders' run defense is better than their pass defense, of course. So that's why, I was considering taking the points when it was 7.5 and 8.5. Then when the Wentz news, it flashed with you guys on FanDuel around 2.5, and then it popped back almost right away. Now it's sitting at 6.5. I still kind of like it under the number here. But I think it's going to be a low scoring game overall. So
no, I agree with you. I see low scoring, but I could also see the Colts just chunk playing the Raiders all game where Taylor's just running for 20 plus yards every drive. Mm-hmm. And it's just going to kill them. And they're just going to put up like 35 points. And then the Raiders get any garbage time points, they put it over.
How many offensive linemen are we expecting to see? Dude, these injury reports are weak. Some of them will have so many players on, and the other ones won't.
I know they could be missing some big names on that offensive line spread. Uh-huh. They looked fine last week. It's almost like their backups just go into that system and they play fine. So from what I seen last week, I'm not really as worried about the linemen being out. If they got these backups, they're going to play this well.
NFL.com put 3 players on the Colts list. I mean, that's just ridiculous. They have way more people. You're not even mentioning Carson Wentz on here. I have no idea what's going on there. So, all right, let's move on to the next game. I like the under though. This Raiders offense has absolutely no juice. I mean, I just can't see them putting up a lot of points here. What's up, Eric? Eric, we did some NBA earlier. Back for the NFL. Glad to have you back with us. Yeah, Tyler and I both like the under, and we made the Indianapolis Colts. If you're just joining us, that's going to be the first leg of the show-long teaser that we always like to create. You know what, Tyler? I haven't kept track of the record, but I know it's winning. I should have, because I could have touted that right now. The New York Giants plus 6, Chicago Bears minus 6, in Chicago total, Tyler, 37. The new NFL hasn't hit these 2 teams. So total's 37. The Bears get it done with Nick Foles last week. I think Foles is actually their best option at quarterback. I would much rather have a Bears ticket in my pocket with Foles rather than Dalton or Fields. And my idea here is all those players make mistakes, right? But Foles gives you the most big play potential to offset those mistakes. So if I'm going to get the mistakes, give me the big play potential to go with. I don't know. I heard they might be starting Andy Dalton. What a terrible idea. But then you look on the other side, what are we going to get? Mike Glennon for the Giants. Boy, 2 teams where the end of the season couldn't come soon enough. And the total of 37 tells you that. I don't know, Tyler. I don't want to get involved in this game. That seems like pretty sound advice. Am I missing some value?
No, I mean, this is going to be one of them ugly games. Two teams that just shouldn't be playing at this point in the year. I think it'll be Jake Fromm that starts for the Giants. And I mean, if I see 5.5 on this game spread, if you have the flat 6, just tease this down. I mean, it's an ugly one, but I think the Bears get it done. It's like the Atlanta-Detroit game last week. Like, Atlanta's ugly, Detroit's ugly, but Atlanta's the better ugly, so you tease them down to 1, they win the game outright. Now, they made you sweat it at the end, but I think Chicago should be able to run the ball.
We're really adding Chicago to our teaser?
Yes. I think they'll be able to get it done.
All right. Well, I trust you. A total of 37. That's why I'd tease it down to an over 31. Can you imagine if that didn't hit? I'm not doing it. I would be so pissed. Tampa Bay Buccaneers minus 13.5 heading to New York to take on the Jets. Jets catching 13.5 at home, Tyler. 45.5 is the total. What are your thoughts?
Give me Tampa Bay here. We know what Tom Brady does to the Jets. He's got to make his MVP case a little bit stronger. I think he's going to throw a ton of touchdowns in this one. I think they win this game by about 17 points. So I see minus 12.5 on DK. I'll definitely take that minus 12.5. And I like the over 45 there.
Yeah, I mean, how do you bet the Jets? I mean, it's just hard. It's just really hard.
Yeah, you can.
All right. I don't really have much to say about that game. Anything on the total?
Would you say total?
Yeah, 45.5.
I partially lean over because I could see Tampa Bay hanging a big number and the Jets score like 10 points in garbage time.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. Atlanta Falcons, talk about big spreads, Tyler. Plus 14 heading to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Bills at minus 14. Atlanta, a dome team. You know, they're getting Kyle Pitts involved. Matt Ryan, you know, used to be pretty good. Now he's pretty much like an average quarterback. We've seen some bad quarterback play, right? He's not Jake Fromm or the level of play we've been getting from Justin Fields as of late. So he's about an average quarterback going to Buffalo that looks like a team that's getting things together at the right time. Very impressive win over the New England Patriots last week. Now do we trust them to cover by 14? Is this team a steamroller here or is this a letdown spot? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I really wouldn't call it a letdown spot, but I think the number's too big. But I'm also not going to want to play Atlanta in this spot. A few weeks ago, we thought the number was too big against San Fran, and San Fran came out and steamrolled them. So I'm not getting on this Atlanta team, but just like
to be fair, Atlanta should have covered that game.
They should have.
They had so many opportunities at the end.
They blew it.
Yeah.
And they had the drive right at the beginning of the game where they made them fumble on the opening kickoff, and they couldn't score inside the 1 with 4 plays. But that's 2 weeks ago. We'll worry about that later.
Yeah.
This game here, just like you said, this is a Southern team, plays in the Dome. Now they're going up north during the wintertime. I'd have to double check the weather in Buffalo, but I don't think it's going to be very pretty. It's going to be cold. Give me their team total under spread. They're not putting up 14 points in this game.
Just another thought for these road teams. How hungover is everybody going to be on the jet on Saturday?
Oh, yeah.
Usually they don't fly out the night before, right? They usually fly out Saturday. That'd be pretty funny if someone can get some cell phone.
Atlanta team total under is my favorite look in that one.
What's that number there? Just to give everyone
13.5. I see. I don't see them getting.
Wow, you're betting under 13.5.
Yeah, I don't see them getting 2 touchdowns in this game.
Wow. All right, that's impressive. That's pretty low team total. Arizona Cardinals plus 6.5 heading to Dallas to take on. Hold on, let me go back. You're not even worried about a backdoor there?
No, I think we'll be fine.
I mean, if they have 7.
Their defensive line is going to be all over Matt Ryan. They're not going to be able to get the ball to Pitts. Like, it's outside.
Well, let's say it's like 31-7. They're in the full prevent. They mash down.
But they've even blanked teams like to where they're going to force him to throw the ball into bad spots.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I just had a 13.5. That's just unbelievable. Arizona Cardinals plus 6.5 heading to Dallas to take on the Cowboys minus 6.5. Oh, here's a total that we like, Tyler. 52. Dallas coming off what I don't know. Maybe you could think of a better one. Was that the best performance by any NFL football team we have seen this season? I'm not going to definitively say that, but as of right now, of course, recency bias to me it is, right? Coming off that great win. Arizona has lost 3 games in a row now. They do not look good without DeAndre Hopkins. Now they catch 6.5 in Dallas in one of the most beautiful stadiums in the world. I don't want to be square on this one, Tyler. So talk me out of it.
Make it 4 losses in a row spread.
That's what I'm saying. How could you bet these guys without Hopkins?
I'm just not even just Hopkins. Their coach is an idiot after November. Like his record after November, he just stinks it up.
He's worse than Gruden.
Control. Yeah. He's like Gruden's disciple. He just does the same thing. He just blows it halfway through the season. They've ran a tough schedule. I'll give them that. But this Dallas team, the more I watch them, the more I think they're very well could be our Super Bowl winner this year. If this
Super Bowl winner?
If this offense is going to look like this with the way the defense is playing,
I can't trust these guys, Tyler.
I mean, that offense starts putting up 30 a game spread.
No matter who they play, they're at a coaching disadvantage.
Yeah, but if all of a sudden you're up 14-0, I mean, coach kind of can just sit on it.
I know, huh? The Urban Meyer plan, right?
Yep. Mike McCarthy might be running that plan. But yeah, I think they win this game. And if you didn't want to tease the Bears down, just tease the Cowboys down with the first team we picked.
I got 3 in there right now. Maybe I'll run multiple iterations. But right now, on our in-show teaser, the Colts, the Bears, and we've added the Dallas Cowboys. Any thoughts on the total of 52?
Partial lean under. Just because I could see Dallas's defense stifling the Cardinals pretty well and holding them up, and they don't put up a ton of points. And then, I mean, Dallas could hang you a 30-piece here, but 52 is a pretty high total. This should be played like a playoff game. I don't see a ton of points here.
I mean, talk about
the way to beat the
DeAndre
Cardinals
Hopkins,
is run it.
man.
And
DeAndre Hopkins is giving like Derrick Henry style MVP vibes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about all that.
I'm just saying, look how bad they are without him.
I mean, Kyler's missing throws too. It didn't help that he just kind of depended on him, but it's what happens when you're a fraud the whole year. You play a very soft schedule, and now you got to play a tough part at the end.
Who's the top 5 receivers in the NFL?
Devontae Adams, Justin
is number
Jefferson.
1. Is he your number 1?
It's those 2 are 1 and 2. You can argue how 1 and 2.
Hold on. What about the guy that catch plus 400 for us a couple weeks ago?
Oh, Cooper Kupp. Well, he's number 3.
Statistically, he's number 1.
Yes, statistically, but Adams last year got pelted with the ball like Cooper Kupp is this year. So we all wanted to put him on the pedestal last year.
Okay.
So those 3.
So so you have all those guys ahead of DeAndre Hopkins.
Yes, I say those 3 are your top 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say your 4 and 5, you can piece in, piece out whoever you want here between like Hopkins. I still put AB up there. Mm-hmm. Mike Evans.
So do you think AB's better than Mike Evans?
Well, he's another name I'd put in there, Mike Evans.
So let's say you can only choose one.
I'd put all 3 of them guys in there. I'd put Godwin in there too.
Yeah, all right. Any other receivers you think we've left out? Deebo Samuel, DK
Metcalf.
Debo's up.
Debo's just like a utility player, so like he just kind of floats around. He's like a hybrid.
I'm trying to think of any high-profile receivers that we've left out. That's probably it, huh? In the chat, did we leave anyone out? Anyways, if we did, put it in the chat, and we'll go back to this maybe a little later. I just thought it was fun because I'm so much higher on Hopkins than everyone else. I don't know why that is. The Carolina Panthers +6. New Orleans Saints at home, laying 6 to the Panthers, Tyler. 37.5 is the total. So that was fun, right? We did the show on Monday, and I was like, hi, because, you know, Ian Book had won me some money as a quarterback in Notre Dame, right? And then you told me, no, don't fall for it, right? The guy's like, not ready for the NFL. And I think you said he might never be ready, okay? So you were right on that one. Miami cashes with ease. That was, just such an easy square play, but hey, that's why you can't just take every underdog and take every under and think you're going to win money, right? So now, I mean, who's playing quarterback now? Is it going to be Ian Buck again or is Simeon back? What's going on with this game, Tyler? And on the same side, I mean, the same question. Like, we don't know who's playing quarterback, right? What's going on with the Panthers?
I mean, we knew who's playing quarterback for the Panthers spread. Our favorite prop is back for Friday's show.
No way.
Yeah, they put him back in as the starter. We get to bet his interception prop again.
What's going on in Carolina, man? Matt Rule's just ruined it for every college coach that wants to go to the NFL right now. Matt Rule and Urban Meyer have cost them about $10 million.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting ugly down there, but you said this total's 37?
Mm-hmm.
Give me the under. I mean, this game's going to be ugly.
And the defenses really aren't that bad.
The Saints defense is their best spot right now. That's how they're going to try and win the game is on their defense and put up like 10 points. And Carolina's defense is pretty good too. So they're going to hold this weak Saints offense. So yeah, just give me the under in this one.
All right. Let's say you have to choose a side. What are you thinking?
The Saints. Because if Darnold starts to stink it up and he throws like 3 picks, you have to turn to Cam Newton, and it's just going to keep going. So give me the Saints. They'll get enough good field position, I think. If I had to lay the 6, I think they'd win. They'd win the game 9-0.
All right. Twatty says, I can't believe I'm taking it under 37, but I am. All right. Well, it looks like the two guys from Pennsylvania agree. Let's move on to another Pennsylvania team, the Philadelphia Eagles. Head to Washington to take on the football team. The football team plus 3.5 at home. Tyler, how do you change a handicap for a team that's fighting each other on the sideline?
I mean,
right? You saw that, right?
Yeah, he poked him in the head. He wasn't happy about it.
Yeah.
That probably wasn't their first fight. They played together at Alabama. I think they were roommates. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not. I'd have to double check that. But yeah, that's probably not the first time those two guys have fought. But I think Washington's pretty much done at this point, spread. The Philly's kind of clinging on to one of them last wild card spots. And they're getting kind of healthy at this point too. So I think Philly gets the job done. I'd lay the 3.5. I could see it being similar to this week for Philly, where it's an ugly first half. And then you blink, and then it's like, oh, here comes Philly. They're putting up all their points now.
Yeah. So that was one of the hot takes on the podcast that you sent me, right? Was he thought that Philly was to the NFC like Indy was to the AFC. We are both very high on the Colts, right? As a team that could make some noise in the playoffs here. What do you think of that hot take that we heard on the Pro Football Focus podcast?
What, that Philly could be a team to make noise in the playoffs?
Yeah, like he said they're just as much of a wild card to upset the apple cart as Indy would be.
No.
Yeah, I was like, wow, Tyler's sending me a podcast with the spicy takes.
The team in the NFC that's that version is the 49ers. They're the team that upsets the apple cart. They take out a team like the Rams. Or they run the ball down Green Bay's throat, and it's like, well, what happened here? How did they win this game? You know what I mean?
That's a great point. Let's go for a couple of the ones there, and I think they had the same one. They were talking about the Niners here. So one of his I actually, I'm not high on Carson Wentz, right? We had so much fun running him down last year, and I had so much fun, right, with Big T and the elite tag. But he said he thought that Hurts was better than Wentz, and even then, as much as I want to join in on slandering Carson Wentz, I'm like, no, that's taking it a little too far. To be fair, Hurts is a great player, more, able to pick up those third downs with his feet, more explosive runner. What would you think of that tape? Wentz or Hurts? Who's better?
I got to take Hurts just because of the mobility, but if I could just throw both of them out.
So you're with the
if I could just throw both of them out, spread, and just play 1955 football and just run it every play, I'd rather do that. They both suck.
Yeah, that's going to be really interesting. And so it sucks laying points with the quarterback.
I got a better question for you, spread. Which one of the 3 Alabama quarterbacks you taking? Jalen Hurts, Tua, Mac Jones?
Tua.
Okay.
Yeah. We agree there, right? We agree there. I think we've even talked about that before. That's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's got to be Tua. This conversation is going to be like a forgotten thing like next year when Tua's just lighting up the league.
And he continues to improve.
And everyone's
Mac Jones is the same exact player for 10 years.
Back on the bandwagon, they're going to be like, "Oh, we love this guy."
Yeah. Eric disagrees with us. Eric says he likes Hurts in the read option, and Twatty says Philly's low key a decent team. So cool. We got opinions all over the boards here, and that's what we like. I think it makes it really interesting, right? It's pretty easy to get on this show and say the Packers are pretty good, right? So now we're kind of delving in here, and we're getting a lot of various opinions. So that's a lot of fun. See, Twatty says he'll take Mac Jones, but he likes Tua. So I think that'll be fun. But my idea is
Twatty's big on the IQ part of it more. Mac Jones is football IQ 101.
Mm-hmm.
That's Twatty's guy right there.
I mean, how much can improve though? The kid's already super smart.
Yeah, that's why I'm not as big on him, because it's I
think he's already
watch him throw the ball. It's he has a kind of strong arm.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have that zip on the ball to squeeze into these tight places. If that receiver's not running wide open, that ball's floating through there. It's going to get picked off a lot throughout his career.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. He definitely cannot zip it through there like Josh Allen. Back to this game, though, Tyler. I mean, I hate to be square, but how are you taking the football team coming off that loss there? I mean, I think this number should be 5.
Yeah, I agree.
Is it worth the bet, or are we just talking about it on the show?
I say we're just talking about it right now. I don't want to lay the 3.5 and then win by 3 spread. Let's just find another small money line to parlay them with and get them near even money. They're about minus 175, so it's like we don't gotta find something crazy.
Yeah. All right, we'll keep that in mind then. I mean, even if we just pop them with, so of the 3 that we picked so far for the tees, let's say we're just doing a 2-teamer though. It's only going to be a 2-teamer. I'm going to match the Eagles. Would you match them with the Cowboys, the Bears, or the Colts?
The money line parlay.
Yeah,
is that what we're talking?
Money line parlay.
I would do the Eagles and the Bears.
The Bears?
Yes. And I would tease the Colts down to 1 and Dallas down to 0 and make that the teaser.
Okay. I can't believe you have so much faith in the Bears here, Tyler.
It's just so hard. The Giants?
I mean, it's really like you're not even betting on the Bears, right? If you tell me I'm betting against the Giants, I'm fine with it. When you say I'm betting on the Bears,
back on a conversation we had last week or the week before.
Okay.
Everybody wanted to bet the Jags when they fired Urban Meyer.
Mm-hmm.
That team still sucks, spread. None of the players on there are good. So it's like, this is the same situation. Like, the Giants could switch their quarterback all they want. They still all suck. So, like,
who has the worst offensive line, Giants or Bears?
The Giants.
So you basically are saying the Giants have the worst offensive line,
and the Bears have the better defense. So give me the Bears.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm gonna say that
it's an ugly game, but
if Dalton's playing, I don't want it.
As long as it's not Fields, they win.
I only want it if it's Foles.
I'll take it. I'll take Foles or Dalton. I don't think the Giants are that big of a. I think Dalton could beat the Giants.
I think he can too. They're so bad. You're right. Twatty thinks it'll be 24-10 for the Eagles. I don't know what this one is. Steelers worst ever on what? Oh, offensive line? No. They're not that bad. They got the fifth.
They're bad spread.
But they're not Giants.
Spread. You have to watch the game on Monday night and just watch the center every time he snaps the ball. He gets pushed backwards like 5 yards every play.
It looks like me when I play football.
It'd be like if they line me up at center and they're like, all right, you got to snap the ball and block that guy.
Yeah, it's hard. It's way harder than just being like the guard or the tackle, right? Let's move on. The Kansas City Chiefs minus 4.5, Cincinnati Bengals plus 4.5. Tyler, this was up to 5.5 earlier. The Bengals taking money, in my mind, rightfully so. I'm really excited to see this Bengals offense against this Chiefs defense. I want to see, is this really a good defense, or have they just been running good? I'll pull it up while you give your breakdown. But everyone goes, oh, the Chiefs defense looks elite now. The Chiefs defense looks elite now. I mean, to me, shutting out the Raiders doesn't make you elite. So why don't you break down your game? And I'm going to go ahead and pull up the games that the Chiefs defenses look so elite against.
Yeah, I mean, I just hope the Bengals go with the same game plan they went against the Baltimore Ravens this year, and that's air it out, attack that defense. Mm-hmm. Because there's other games that they played this year where they kind of shell into their offense and they just run the ball with Joe Mixon. So if they air it out, this should be a great game. I honestly could see them winning the game spread because they're going to light this up. And just like Eric just said in the chat, over 50.5 feels square. I'm not betting the under here. Give me the over. I think this is going to be points galore. I can see this finishing in like the 70s.
Yeah, I mean, I can't.
That's my best look in the game.
There.
It wouldn't surprise me if Cincy comes out with like a fire lit under their ass and their offense just puts up a big number and wins the game. It also wouldn't surprise me to see the Chiefs squeak out a W and win by about 3. So I'm going to stay away from the side. The over my favorite look in that game.
All right, and here's what the point I was trying to make earlier. I have it pulled up. So before we anoint this Chiefs defense as elite, right? So they lose on October 24th to Tennessee 27-3, right? Then they hold the Giants to 17, right? Arguably the worst offensive line in the league. Then they get the win over Green Bay, and they hold them to 7. Great job. But wasn't Green Bay missing some people in that one?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
So, all right. But, okay, we give them credit for that, right? Then they hold the Raiders to 14. You don't get any credit for me on that one. The Raiders have no juice.
You're talking about the Chiefs Green Bay game?
Yeah.
Rodgers didn't play that game. Jordan Love played that game.
Okay, yeah, okay. Exactly. That's what I was thinking because I was like 7 to the Packers. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. So, okay, you hold Jordan Love to the Packers, right? Then you hold the Raiders to 14. Wow. I mean, their fastest player is 35 years old. Dallas, same deal, right? Didn't they catch him at a good time on that 19-9 win? Didn't Dallas miss every single receiver in that game?
They were missing, I think, one receiver, but they were also missing an offensive lineman or two, and Dak was just under pressure the whole game.
Yeah, so okay.
So I mean, their defense played good that game, but
still,
missing some offensive linemen.
But before we make them an elite defense, let's really look at this. Then Denver, right? No juice on offense. No juice on offense. Okay. Okay. Then you hold the Raiders to 9 again. Like I said, there's no juice on these teams. The Chargers put 28 up on them. And did you watch that Chargers game? They should have put up like 50.
Yeah, this game's going over.
Yeah. Then they held Pittsburgh. We just talked about them. Another absolutely terrible offensive line. I don't think the Bengals offensive line is that bad, Tyler. I think they're going to be able to get it done. I think they might expose this Chiefs defense that, yes, they've ran good, right? But it's just like, you can run good in life sometimes, right? And take advantage of great situations. Let's see how they do. What are your thoughts here? So are you with me that you'll take the Bengals 4.5, or do you think the over is the better play?
I'm sticking with the over, but I just can't pick a side in this game because it wouldn't surprise me to see the Chiefs win, but it also wouldn't surprise me to see the Bengals come out. It's more of a coin flip game to me. I just love the over.
Okay, well, I really like the Bengals here. Hey, we dogged them all preseason, but you know what? We're flexible in this industry. We can pivot.
I'm
right,
going to take
Tyler?
a stand and spread. I'm going to take a stand and spread. I'm sorry, but I have to take the Chiefs now. Because every time you've bet on the Bengals or bet against them
I got them the last couple weeks.
Okay, you got it. I was about to say, because they've screwed you so much this year.
No,
I have to face you.
Well, once I said, hey, these guys are good. The only time they got me since I switched, right, and I planted that Bengals flag was the Jets game, right?
Okay.
Where they looked really bad. But we had them against the Ravens last week, and we had them the week before, and they covered them too. So yeah,
All right. So we've righted that ship. I had to make sure.
Yeah. Okay.
If they were still getting you, I was all over the Chiefs here.
Yeah, see, Eric Chang, this would be an over, but it would be a cover. He thinks it's 30-27 KC. And he's agreeing with me there. He says Cooper and Lamb were both out. Yeah. So, I mean, it's like, Otter thinks it's going under. Interesting. That's interesting.
It's going to be the most popular DFS game. They'll probably be all through it in the cores. But I agree with them. I would fade it because you could probably just find another game that's going to score similar to it and just get all the guys like lower owned, better pricing. So
yeah, but see, I also think that's a little different than us just betting it, right? Because the fact that you need to have your own unique lineup, right, matters where you want to differentiate from the core. Whereas for me, right, being different than the public gets you more money in DFS, right?
Yeah.
For me, I can bet that over ticket. 80% of the people can be on the over. I'm getting paid the same amount.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter that there's a long line at the window. I mean, these are the old days, right? We all do it online now, right? But in the old days, right? When the favorites win, right? The line's out the window. When the underdogs win, you just walk right up by yourself and catch your ticket. So I think that, and they'll talk about that so much more, and the experts were not. We prefer betting, but I think that there's value in fading that game because, like you said, it's so popular. And one thing I have learned, from doing this with them is that being different does matter so much. Jacksonville Jaguars plus 16. New England Patriots will be at home. Totals 41.5. I mean, we hate these big spread games.
We do.
What do we do? What do we do?
Just lay it.
Are you serious? You're laying 16 points right now. They have
to get right spread. They're going to win this game. Like, even if they win it 20-0, they cover. I don't see them.
Are you going to give me some stat about Belichick versus rookie quarterbacks? Because
I was going to say dominates rookie quarterbacks. I mean, this offensive line's trash. He's going to be all over them.
Right.
Like, they're gonna shut this team out or let them get like 10 points. Mm-hmm. They're covering the 17. I'll take them minus the 16.5. Look at what they did to the Jets twice already. They're going to do the same thing to this team.
I mean, almost making me want to bet on minus 16, Tyler. 41.5 the total. Any thoughts?
Nah, no real thoughts on the total. I think the side's the one in this one. Because if they could go crazy and the game could go under. Like, they could win it 35-0. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I'd rather just not play the total.
Okay. What about Jacksonville team total under? Is that lower than that? Well, what is the 13.5?
It's got to be lower than the.
Do you have it? So I'm on Bookmaker right now, and they don't list their team totals till like Friday or Saturday.
It is 12.5.
These are so low.
Yeah, see, 20. I may have to take Jacksonville team total over 12.5.
I mean, you could get like a good 15 minutes of garbage time, a prevent, I mean, right? They're up 31-0. You could get 15 minutes of prevent. So if you knew that, if you knew it was 31-3 going into the fourth and that they were going to be playing prevent, where would you rather have, the over or the under on that team total for Jacksonville?
Me personally, I'd probably still want the under.
Wow. Okay.
Just because they could only blitz 3 and they're still going to get pressure. Yeah. And those D-backs for the Patriots could pick one off. So
Eric doesn't suggest it. He says that's just going to be too painful for the football that you're going to have.
But it might not. If you think about it, though, it might not be. Like, what have they lost? 2 in a row?
Mm-hmm.
They need a win. Stay in the playoff picture. They legit might come out and blast this team right in the face.
I mean, if the Patriots fall out of the playoffs, what happens to all the Mac Jones truthers?
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, they need this game.
Is it time for us to put on our Hawaiian outfits and start dancing around for Tua?
I don't know about that yet, but yeah, they're going to win this game by 20 plus.
All right. Speaking of Tua, the Miami Dolphins are catching 3 in Tennessee against the Titans with a total of 39.5. What are your thoughts, Tyler?
I mean, is Miami's finally with their win streak finally gonna die right here, spread to Tennessee? It's gonna be a tough one. My only worry is AJ Brown, but if you think about it, the Dolphins kind of match up nice against this team.
They do, because they don't have to shadow.
Yeah, they have the corners on both sides to cut them off. The total is pretty low. Like, they're not gonna be able to run the ball very well against this Miami team either.
Yeah,
give me the plus 3.5. Honestly, and sprinkle the money line. I think they could win another one. Like, this team's hot. They're playing with a lot of confidence. They're getting Waddle the ball in place, like just in space. And we all talk about how you got to get your playmakers the ball in space and let them do their thing. So just give me the Dolphins here, spread. I'm not going to overthink it. Unless Derrick Henry walks back on that field, I'm taking the Dolphins.
I mean, he'll walk on the field. It'll just be in street clothes, unfortunately.
Well, if he's in pads, then change of plans.
Tyler, I wrote about this game on Monday night, and we talked about it. And then the total was 41. You said, I like the under there. I said, I'm with you. Bam, published the article, got the number at 41. Feeling pretty good. Got a little CLB. What would you say now, though, to the people who didn't join that there? They're looking at a 39.5 now. What do you think?
I'd still lean under, but I would wait, because if one of the teams drives down on the first drive in the game, you'll be able to get that number again live anyway. So I would just wait and try and bet it live.
Great point. All right. Denver Broncos plus 6.5 heading to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers, 45.5. Oh my gosh. Tyler and I are shedding tears every Sunday now, Tyler, after touting the Chargers. Is this a legitimate Super Bowl candidate? How do we tout a team that can't stop the run? I mean, this is basic football stuff, right? Like, high school teams know how to stop the run, right? I mean, what's going on with Los Angeles? What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, they can't stop the run worth of nothing. Like, I could run on this defense right now.
Yeah.
So it's like, you look at Denver, it's like they should be able to run with Williams and Melvin Gordon, but they have no threat whatsoever in the passing game if it's not Bridgewater, if it's Drew Lock out there.
Do we have news on who it is?
No, not yet. So that's like a wait and see.
So is this just easily just wait for the news? If
this game I say is just wait. Because
if it's locked, do you bet Denver at 6.5?
No, because then they could, like, I know they're bad at run.
I mean, if it's Bridgewater, do you still bet Denver?
I would, because if it's Bridgewater, he could actually like make them like have to respect the pass game. To where if it's Drew Lock, they could just be like, screw the pass game, stack the box. Like, we're not letting them run the ball.
But they should have been able to do that like the last 4 weeks. And
Davis Mills could throw for a ton of yards, Brett. He makes you back up and actually cover those receivers.
Good point. So are you going to lay it against Lock at 6.5 when we get that news? I mean, this is just as simple as that?
Yeah, I would lay it. Would rather tease it down to 1.5. That's the way to go on this one.
Do we get in there right now on the tease, or do you want to wait for the news? Bridgewater could upset this team.
I would wait for the news.
I think Bridgewater can get the upset.
I agree.
You know, I don't like Teddy B either, right? I've been slandering him on that other show, but I don't like this Chargers run defense. And you can't stop the run. Like, I'm pretty much done with you as a team. Like, come on. I mean, and it's when they know the other team's coming too. And it's not like a one-time thing like that Buffalo New England deal. I mean, it's week after week after week. Yeah. All right, let's wait on that one. Obviously, whoever's playing quarterback, the most important position in sports, does matter when making an NFL pick. Houston Texans plus 12 heading to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. The total's 44. Tyler, you said Davis Mills gets respect. Did the Niners give him respect? What happens here?
I mean, 12.5 is a lot. I think they'll score some garbage time touchdowns. So I lean partially to the Houston plus 12.5, but I'm not going to play it. Give me the over here, though. San Fran's going to put up a big number against this defense. And I could also see Davis Mills getting garbage time points. I think 44 is a bit too low. So I like the over here.
I like that play too. Tyler, in the afternoon, the Lions are playing the Seahawks. Bookmaker has it locked. Do you have numbers for the Lions and the Seahawks?
It is Seahawks -7, and the total is 42.5.
That's what I had when I wrote it up 2 days ago. We talked on it real quick. But it was actually like
that's like this. It's like the only way to break this game down because it's two bad teams. It's like, well, Seattle has two good receivers. Lions can't cover receivers.
Yeah.
Smalling to Seattle, but rather just tease it down. Don't really want to lay the 7.
So is this adding to our in-show teaser? That'll be the 4th game.
Yeah, I wouldn't say we're gonna make a 4-team teaser, but these are like the teams I would pick out as like the teaser options this week.
All right, let's leave them out, dude. I don't trust the Seahawks. Did you see?
I don't trust them,
but I mean,
I would trust them just about as much as the Bears in this spot. Better quarterback, like they have to try and save face a little bit.
I mean, but Russell Wilson's on 100%.
Yeah,
he missed so many throws that he doesn't usually miss. All right, let's just completely stay away from that game. Bookmaker locked it for a reason.
I mean, we have every team on the board, so we could stay away from a few games.
That's true. The Rams -5, the Ravens +5 in Baltimore. Total is 47. I like the Rams here, Tyler, but I don't want to lay 5 on the road. But I don't know. Doesn't this just seem like we just talked about it? Great receivers, terrible secondary. I mean,
yeah, this is going to be the same thing. Cooper Kupp's going to have another ginormous game because there's not going to be a soul that can cover him. I small lean to the over, but I'd rather just play the side. The Rams are going to get it done. And we talked about it with the money line parlay. Here's the other one. Just put the Rams in there.
We're going to do the Rams and the Eagles, huh?
Yeah, Rams, Eagles.
2 road teams.
The Rams, Eagles get you plus 130.
Okay. I'm going to do that after I do the teaser. I got the teaser pulled up right now. So far, only 3 entrants into the teaser, Tyler. But I think you're going to have a hard time not having me make it a 4-teamer. The Packers -6.5 at home against the Minnesota Vikings. Tyler, I don't like the Vikings. I don't like Kirk Cousins outdoors. The prime time, you can hear it all week. Of course, it's probably baked into the number 3 times over. Regardless, I mean, these things are trends for a reason. I think the Packers lay it, but I'm going to just put them in this tease. What do you think?
I'd rather tease it. I'm not laying the 7 with this team. This defense.
Really?
This team, I know it's Kirk Cousins spread. Dalvin Cook practiced in full today. Like, he's back. This defense has shown holes over the past few weeks. We just watched Cleveland put up 20-plus points on him spread, and Baker threw 4 interceptions. Kirk's not – he might have a bad game, but I don't think he's going to have as bad as a game as Baker did. He has Justin Jefferson. Like, this game could easily be very close. And again, Green Bay's just been kind of cruising along. They haven't really dud it all season since week 1. You got to think they dud before the end of the year.
Against Minnesota, though?
It's an ugly spot, but to be honest, though, spread, we've seen wilder things in the NFL this year. I think Twatty has the best look, though, the over.
Yeah.
Yeah, the over is definitely the best look.
I didn't really break down the total too much. I just looked at it and I said, I cannot bet Minnesota again for the rest of the year. Talk to me about the total.
Yeah, I mean, Green Bay should be able to put up points. My only worry is though they go into like a run-heavy offense if they get the lead, and just AJ Dillon's just chewing the clock himself.
Yeah.
And then Minnesota with Justin Jefferson, Cook, Osborne, Conklin, they're going to be able to put up points too. So I could definitely see over 46 in this one.
I'm going to be really curious to see how this showdown slate turns out. There's going to be heck of options, right? I mean,
yeah, at captain,
unbelievable,
everything.
All right, Tyler. Well, that is the card because we will do a Monday night on Monday. So all your friends in Pittsburgh will have to wait to hear your thought about the greatest coach in the NFL, Mike.
Our guy Twatty's in the chat. I think he knows what side to be on Monday night.
Hey, Twatty, we need a bonus pick for this football game tonight. Tyler, what are your thoughts on what's the Pittsburgh number? So Pittsburgh, not your hometown, but your home state. They're plus 3.5 against Michigan State. Michigan State was pretty good this year. You said Pickett's not going to play. I think he sucks for that. That's lame. What do you think of this game?
Yeah, Pickett's not playing. Kenneth Walker's not playing on the Michigan State side. I'm going to go back to my favorite saying from the NBA rundown spread. Don't overthink it. Just give me the under. Under 55.
Twatty, do you like Pittsburgh in this game? Throw it in the chat real quick. Well,
yeah, he took Pitt plus 3.5 in the under.
Yeah, taking the points does correlate with a low-scoring game. So, you guys both like the under. You know what? Why am I choosing a side? I just like betting on the Big Ten. But we will see how that turns out. Tyler, time for the best bets. What is your best bet for Sunday, side, total, or prop?
I mean, looking at this one, I'm going to go with that 2-team money line parlay. We're going to go with the Eagles and the Rams, the plus 130. I like that one.
Okay. Let me see, what are all the games I like? Kind of like the Colts. Definitely don't want to bet the Bears game. Kind of like the Cowboys. Kind of like the Bengals, but we're opposite on that Bengals game, right?
No, I was just messing with you when I said, remember how the Bengals had your number?
Yeah.
And you went and picked them. That's why I was like, oh, I got to take my stand and take Chiefs now.
Why don't I try? All right, I'll ask you what you think is the best one. Do you like the Bengals or the Seahawks -7 or the Titans under? Only one bet.
Are you taking the Bengals plus the points?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, just take the plus the points. Take the points.
Bengals plus the points is the best bet. Tyler did a teaser with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Los Angeles Rams that get you to plus 125, plus 130, depending on where you shop. Twatty says Cleveland running pops definitely against the Steelers. They have zero chance of stopping Cleveland on the ground. And Huntley thinks the Bengals get held to 17 or less. I hope not. That would pretty much.
If they get held to 17 or less, Fred, all you need is Chiefs to get held to 22 or less.
Yeah, which isn't happening. So if they do, I'll go on there and I'll say that their defense is better than I expected. Huntley says special things happen for the Steelers on Monday night. We will be talking about that on Monday. No title this week, I don't think, Tyler. He's still traveling for the New Year, so it'll be you and I running through. So pretty much the playoff picture is going to be close to decided on Sunday, or is there still going to be a lot going on to Week 18?
I mean, maybe some seeding, but I think we're pretty much like maybe one or two teams drops in, drops out, but I think pretty much the picture set.
Well, you know how usually like Week 18 we don't, or the very last week of the season we don't bet because it's just like a bunch of games that don't matter.
Is it going
to be like that this year?
Now, let's see.
The playoff picture seemed pretty crowded. I was thinking because they're all divisional games that we're going to have a bunch of games actually next week. Because I was worried that like we weren't even going to do this show next week, right? Because if it's a usual year, a lot of times there's only 2 or 3 games that I feel like are worth betting. You know, with everyone else running their preseason formats or just being completely eliminated.
All right, so in the AFC, Chiefs are 1-11-4, Titans 10-5, Bengals 9-6, Bills 9-6, Colts 9-6, Patriots 9-6, Dolphins 8-7 are the playoff teams right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Chargers, Raiders, Baltimore all 8-7 on the outside looking in, and Steelers 7-1. So, I mean, you could have some teams shake up in the AFC. I would have to see how all the tiebreakers play into affect the division records and all that.
Yeah, I think we'll have more that matters for the last week of the NFL
to be honest,
season
I think the only spot that's maybe changes is that last one where Miami is. Because Miami has to play the Titans and then the Patriots. So it's like they could lose 2 in a row to where the Chargers could sneak in, or maybe even Baltimore squeezes back in.
Do you think any of those teams in the middle punt that game and rest their guys for the week to try and give them like an extra bye, like the number 4 seed and stuff? Or how do you think that's going to work?
I don't think so.
Then we're going to have a good week 18 then.
Just because of how tight the AFC is. Like, you could be like, the Bills are a 4 seed right now, and the Bengals are the 3 seed. Like, unless you're picking the team you want to play in the playoffs, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You're just going to punt the game like we've seen in the NBA. Like, you're not going to punt that game and maybe, like, play a different team that matches up better against you. So I don't see that happening.
Then that's going to be great, because I was worried that
and just think if like you're trying to avoid the Chiefs, like, depending where you're seeding at, like, if you win the first round, like, you could avoid them until the AFC Championship game. Or you could screw yourself and have to play them in the second round.
Well, I think that's awesome, because I was worried that we were going to have a boring show next week. Because I remember there's been, like, the last weeks of the season where there's 2 games that mattered.
Yeah, and then here's the NFC. And these are all, well, there's only one AFC spot that's clinched right now, and that's the Chiefs. Nobody else has clinched a playoff spot yet. Mm-hmm. In the NFC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams have clinched playoff spots. Green Bay, Cowboys, Rams, Buccaneers, Cardinals. Mm-hmm. Then you have, as the final 2 wild card spots right now, Niners at 8-7, Eagles at 8-7. Vikings, Falcons, and Saints all 7-8 on the outside looking in. I don't think anything changes in the NFC.
Vikings, Falcons, and Saints are all terrible. I mean, okay, the Vikings are a tier above, but Falcons and Saints, come on.
The only way this changes is if the Vikings somehow upset the Green Bay Packers this week.
Well, good thing we don't have to worry about that.
Because 49ers should be able to beat Houston. They'll keep their spot. Mm-hmm. I think the Eagles get the job done. They beat Washington, so they'll hold that spot. The moment the Vikings lose that game on Sunday, if they do, that pretty much ends that. The Falcons are going to lose to the Bills. They're out at that point. And the Saints could very well lose an ugly one to Carolina. So,
well, so maybe only some good AFC games. Well, we'll try and make it a good show next week.
Looking like it could be entertaining. NFC, not so much.
No. All right. Well, if we even get like 5 or 6 that are good. So if it's a truncated,
what could turn a more entertaining spread is if Vikings do pull off that upset. Now home field advantage is up for grabs in the NFC, because now Dallas is tied with Green Bay.
Are you going to make me root for the Vikings and root against my teaser?
No, I mean, I think we'll be fine. Well, that would put, if Green Bay drops that game, that would make Green Bay at 12-4. And if Cowboys beat the Cardinals, Rams beat the Ravens, Buccaneers beat the Jets, all 4 of those teams are 12-4.
Wow.
Yeah, so you would have a little bit of a log jam at the top. I'm not sure how all that seeding falls out at that point.
Yeah, and let's be honest, those are the 4 teams that really have a chance. So
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching. Remember, this show is brought to you by Run Pure Bets. Head on over to runpurebets.com to become a member. Use the promo code BETS25 off. If you enjoyed the show, remember, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. We'll get more people in the chat talking, especially when we do the hot takes. Who's better, Tua, Jalen Hurts, or Mac Jones? Chime in next week. Thank you for joining us, and run